You guys remember when another school would take someone from your school hostage? Classic move. Who could forget the high school tradition of kidnapping to try and start a gang war? Oh no, I'm sorry. I was trying to order a pizza. I didn't mean to call the hotline that summons a gay clown. I really shouldn't have that on speed dial. Hello children, I'm a character that has no meaning because my game didn't come out in North America. There's a lot of weird references in the SMT games, but that's just Steven Seagal. They even named him Steven. Bet they feel kinda weird about that now. Hey, you're that guy from Persona 1 with the fat evil penis. Man, I really hope that Persona 1 gets remade someday just so I can see what the hell they do with that. Man, I love Aikichi. Because they set up that he's this cool boss of Kasugiyama High, and then less than half an hour after you get him on your team, he gets his shit rocked by just a couple of random Seven Sisters jobbers. Phenomenal character intro. I want you all to pay close attention, because Persona 2 does something revolutionary that every game afterward refused to do. And that's acknowledge that there were other Persona games. Even Lisa's shocked that they would reference past games. If you're going to become a principal, you gotta take into account what possible insults kids can make out of your name. I remember in high school we had a principal named Mr. Booty, which meant that every time someone went to the principal's office, they were getting a booty call. And the more he hated that term, God, the more we used it. So this is a very important note for anyone planning on playing Persona 2. Say that there's a casino and that the slots are easy. Now, you literally never have to worry about money. Ever again. Because you can sell the prizes. Same goes for Persona 1 and Eternal Punishment. Easy game. Let's try Discuss Manliness. Oh, she liked that. Alright, let's bullshit our way into some cards, boys. Hello, love. You like Ben Shapiro? I loved that time that he bought a single plank of wood from Home Depot. What an alpha. Here's why Persona 2 is so easy. Set it to autocast fusions that attack everyone, then just sit back and watch all the enemies die.
Looks like you're all talk.
And if you're lucky, like I just was, you'll get a Persona mutation too. Easy game. I guess my hatred of SMT mazes is misdirected in this level, because this isn't even a maze. It's just a loop that you have to do over and over and over and over. Less as above, so below, more Groundhog's Day. But Bill Murray never had to summon a firestorm onto a gremlin in a pot, so that's a definite difference. I never really thought about it, but why were June and Tatsuya hanging out window shopping wedding dresses? I mean, I know the reason, and you know the reason, but don't ask Atlas because they don't know anymore. Oh my god, that's just Baofu. I hadn't met him when I first played this, so this had no importance to me, but that's totally Baofu. That's a really good cameo. Slash setup. Cheers, Persona 2. For the crime of being an annoying nerd, I sentence you to Mega Blaze. Go back to r/Persona, you weirdo. Oh yeah, that's a story cutscene Mega Blaze. Now that guy's actually super dead. No, I think you're remembering that wrong. You saved Miss Psycho from the Snow Queen, not the other way around. I like Miss Psycho, but she did jack shit. Atlas seems to think it's really funny when the girls hurt the male characters in their games. And you can usually chalk it up as bad taste comedy that just doesn't translate over here. But that one's barely a joke. That's just spousal abuse. Persona 2 only features the most evil and heinous demons, like evil furniture. I see that we've reached the part of Persona 2 where you just start murdering cultists like it's Resident Evil 4. You can't suplex them in this game, and honestly, I mark that down as a real missed opportunity. Alright, third machine on the left is clearly playing Persona 1. I want to meet the mad lad who's playing through a 20+ hour RPG in an arcade. Where is he? I know he's out there. I've had enough of you, cat girl. Into the infinite abyss with you. What kind eyes? Who would ever believe that a man like that could be evil? Didn't they call him Brown because he shit his pants once? Why would you continue to keep that nickname after high school? And you're a TV star. That's like if Jerry Springer's nickname was Mr. White because of that time that he got caught having sex with a prostitute and paying for it via mayoral check. And then he continued to be called Mr. White while on the Jerry Springer show. Just change your nickname, man. We interrupt this RPG to give you a full-ass song and dance number. Get used to it, they're gonna do it again in 4. Lisa just ripped off her dress to reveal clothes that would have been covering her under her dress. That was like a naked gun gag. Time bomb. Time bomb. Time bomb. Time bomb. Gosh, I'm starting to wonder if this terrorist has some kind of motif in his work. Hey, this fight takes place in a bathroom. What kind of background do you want? Well, I don't know. Just make it a bunch of randomly placed toilets. That'll work. Hey man, instead of fighting, why don't you check this shit out? Wow, what an asshole. Listen, if Persona 2 can include Oboro Guruma, why can't Persona 3, 4, or 5? See, the fact that they don't include this demon is why Persona 2 is the best one, and if he shows up in Persona 6, that will be the best one de facto. How do we show that King Leo is evil? I don't know. What if he set an entire museum full of children on fire? Does that work? I still think that Persona 5 is the easiest Persona game, but the fact that you can just set your party to automatically do fusions and heal definitely puts this game up there. I mean, Persona 1's auto system was also easy to abuse, but this is a whole nother level. Yes, weaponize the children to discredit the idea that we're terrorists. Phenomenal idea. This isn't even the weirdest part of the game yet. You can't just play nothing, Tatsuya. That's not how rock, paper, scissors works. What? Oh yeah, Shadow Maya. I forgot. Honestly, that's a great detail that I don't think I ever encountered before. That Shadow Maya just won't do any demon interactions. That's great. Whoa. I'm seeing double. 4 Mayas. I promise I won't make that joke for every shadow.
Be careful, Chinyon! I think she's up to something with that spear!
Yeah. She's probably gonna stab me. That's what spears do. It's their main purpose. Do you not know how spears work, Lisa? I don't think it's the best system, but I think that Persona 2 has my favorite battle system. Just watching them hop all around the board, yelling and moving around, attacking from different angles, having to close the distance for a melee attack. I don't know, it does something to me that no other Persona battle system does. I prefer it much more to just standing in the same place and wailing on someone over and over. For those of you keeping track of the story, the 7 Pleiades are Mayans, and are actually aliens that guided humanity to create civilized societies. And their spaceship, Xibalba, is underneath Sumeru City, because the Mayans died in an intergalactic civil war. Now, Adolf Hitler, who never died, is back with the Fourth Reich in order to use the crystal skulls to learn the meaning of life and make the human race evolve into a transhumanist version of the Mayans called Idealians. Also, there's an evil clown named Joker who's actually June and believes that Tatsuya, Aikichi, and Lisa are responsible for burning down the shrine that Maya was in, even though that was the other Tatsuya that Joker's working with and Maya's not dead. We are still not at the weirdest part of this game. Oh yeah, and Hitler can fly. Which honestly is the most believable thing that's happening right now. Hey, what did you guys mock up as the background for the second phase of the Joker fight? You know, the big moment that a lot of the game has been building up to. Oh, well, I watched the second half of Hellraiser on TV the other day, and it gave me a couple of ideas. So here's a fun idea that never comes up in any of the sequels. Well, arguably Persona 3, but you can give away your Persona summoning ability. That's a thing you can do. I understand that important things are happening in the plot, but it's much more important that I do laps of this abandoned warehouse until all my new personas are maxed. Oh, the cultists are killing the Nazis. Okay, now I have to fight the cultists. Tiny victories. Now the Nazis are killing the cultists. I guess I have to fight the Nazis now. God, it's like I'm stuck in a loop. Alright boys, get ready for the best moment in all of Persona. I love Aikichi so much. Why did he do that? I love Nova Kaiser so much. It's just the world. He stops time and attacks you. It's just the world. Alright, now that I've spent another hour running around a warehouse to max June's persona, we're ready to solve every fight for the rest of the game. See, if you do everyone's ultimate moves at the same time, in a specific order, you get Grand Cross, a fusion that basically clears the field no matter who's on it. This will carry us through the rest of the game. Oh no, a bunch of cultists. Grand Cross. Regular enemies. Grand Cross. Nazis. Grand Cross. The recreation of a childhood best friend created using imperfect memories to help transcend humanity. Grand Cross. You know what? It was a sweet scene without that effect. I don't know that that was necessary. Remember when I called Joker a gay clown? Yeah, I wasn't joking. Persona 2 is a revolutionary inclusion in the Persona franchise because it lets you be gay. The bar is so low, Atlas, just let me kiss Akechi. And Mishima. And Yusuke. So it's the same persona as my Apollo. That's cool. Unfortunately for you, Grand Cross! So despite the fact that he jumped out of a clock tower, telling that student at the beginning of the game that he didn't die means that he survived. Now he's back and killing Nazis. I can't believe they gave the cameo character from Persona 1 a redemption arc. I love that Persona 2 sets up the Masked Circle as these giant villains. And you do actually defeat Leo, but Taurus and Scorpio die unceremoniously, and Aquarius just leaves. Like, no, they were not the villains that mattered. Fight the Nazis instead. Listen, I don't care that it's an accurate name. I feel like they should have gone with something other than Metal Daddy. Well, at least they only called this one Metal Mama. Whenever people who haven't played Persona 2 bring up Persona 2, they only make one of two jokes, and it's either about Hitler or June being gay. You can tell that they haven't played Persona 2 because no one mentions the section where you fight aliens, which is arguably weirder than fighting Hitler. Alright, we're right before the final battle, so we're gonna do something that will only make sense once we get to Eternal Punishment. We're gonna dump every conceivable upgrade directly into Tatsuya. Trust me, there is a reason. So every time that you hit Hitler with an attack in this fight, he says the words, "You're good." But some attacks hit in rapid succession, so you get this line. I mean, did he really have to say it after every hit? For those of you still not keeping track, Jun's dad wrote the Inlakek with Okamura, and then he died in the clock tower. And Jun lying about having a cool dad caused that dad to become real, but his fake dad was actually Nyarlathotep, and because Okamura believed what was written in the Inlakek, everything in it became true, including all of the shit about the last battalion and the Bolantiku. So Hitler and Jun's dad were actually Nyarlathotep the whole time. And now we're fighting Nyarlathotep, who is fighting using a body made entirely out of our dads. Now it's the weirdest part of the game. See, this is the final boss, so of course it requires a lot of careful planning and specific tactics to win. I'm kidding, of course, just slap that bitch with Grand Cross. And there it is. The big reveal. Every event from the past 10 years, the shrine burning down, the creation of the Inlakek, Jun's dad dying, Maya's dad dying, the Masked Circle, the Lost Battalion, Xibalba, the Bolantiku, everything has been part of a bet between Philemon and Nyarlathotep as to whether humanity can evolve while feeling conflicting emotions. You spent the entire game unknowingly as part of a game of cosmic chess. Actually, it's dumber than cosmic chess. You were part of an intergalactic pissing match. See, Lisa? That's how you use a spear. I think the first time I played this game I thanked him, but now that I understand the story a lot better, the answer is incredibly obvious. Man, it's hard to formulate thoughts and feelings when you're trying not to cry. Yeah, that's still the best Persona game. And going back to it after finishing Eternal Punishment last year, it really adds a lot to the game. There's so many weird little setups and musical motifs, and god damn it, I just love this game. Okay, now I'm allowed to cry. Man, if you're gonna threaten me, at least do it with proper capitalization. Modern serial killers, they're so lazy. Hey now, don't you badmouth Grand Cross. That shit killed Hitler. I mean, it wasn't really Hitler, but the intention was there. Shouldn't you be dead? I mean, the universe resetting itself always was going to have some weird side effects, but how does your kid not having friends when he was little translate to you not dying in a clock tower accident? Well, universe reset means that Hanya is back to being hated, just as it should be. Sorry man, but your Nazi killing redemption arc meant nothing. Wow. Katsuya got hit so hard that he summoned a Japanese catboy out of thin air. Doesn't it suck to see somebody else living your dreams? What a cool character. Would be even cooler if there were some sort of game that came out before this that we could play in English. Hint hint, Atlas. See, this scene is cool because it establishes that you can just call the detective agency to spread rumors. A feature that the game never implements or lets you do, as it would be too convenient. Okay, but you still have a name. It's just that your name is nameless, dipshit. If you think that's confusing, you should have heard the plot of the last game. So, Eternal Punishment has the worst demon negotiation system because they took away everyone having 4 distinct options and made it so that all of your negotiations are done through combinations of characters. And the combinations have to be very specific, or you'll do a different option. Like, I'm using Ulala, Maya, and Katsuya right now, but if I used them in the order Katsuya, Ulala, Maya, it would be a different negotiation. So you have to know what the demon responds to, and remember what combination gets that response. It's just way too complicated. See, you can tell that Katsuya is definitely a police officer because one of the first big fights in the game involves him shooting a dog. I want everyone to remember this joke because someone at Atlas thought it was so funny that they use it in the next game too. Oh, I don't like doing fusions with Baofu. That terrible beard is like a jump scare. So, remember at the end of the last game, I said to dump all of your stat upgrades into Tatsuya? This is why. Because if you transfer your data over, he keeps all of his stats. So the stronger that he is when Innocent Sin ends, the stronger he is for Eternal Punishment. The Persona series deals with a lot of weird ideas, but I think the subplot about Ulala having all of her money stolen through a form of marriage fraud is probably the weirdest one. It's just so specific. Like, did it happen to someone at the Atlas offices? Who thinks of that? Oh yeah, of course, won't tell a soul. Hey Katsuya, there's a guy stealing panties back there. You should kill him. We now return to everyone's favorite part of playing Persona, running back and forth and whacking on jobber demons until your personas have all their moves. Oh god, a white woman. Nice kick, kid. Now prepare as I unleash the hottest fire hell can conjure on you. Seems like an even trade. Man, this map screen track is so good. Hearing that credits song for the first time and realizing I had actually been hearing it the whole game, it's just such a good feeling. A truly transcendental video game musical experience. You hear that? The credits theme is in this song too. God, a good musical motif is all that I need. A game could be the biggest piece of shit ever and have a soundtrack that reincorporates aspects of itself in a satisfying manner, and it would be on my shortlist for Game of the Year. I'm just easy like that. Holy shit, it's Columbo! Honestly, one of the reasons that I love Persona 2 so much is that its cast isn't entirely in high school. There's an optimism to the other games about how the world will open up once everyone becomes adults, and I think that it's much more interesting to see the characters who have to grapple with that lack of optimism because most of adulthood is mundane and uninteresting, or they aren't happy with the way that their lives are going. I just feel like a lot of the sort of weird ennui hits harder when it's coming from characters that aren't 15. Just as Innocent Sin was revolutionary for letting you mac on emo dudes who used to be clowns, Eternal Punishment is revolutionary for remembering that there were games that came before it. I think I made that exact same joke in Innocent Sin, but whatever. So the thing I love about Nanjo is that in Persona 1, his butler's dying wish is that Nanjo become the #1 man in Japan. And Nanjo internalizes this by wearing a big jacket with #1 on the back and a scarf that also says #1. He's a loser, and I love him. Cowards will tell you to level up a stat other than Dex. Don't listen to them. They're wrong and will die alone. What's in here? Pain. What about this one? Also pain. What asshole is setting up trapped chests in the sewers? Are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles learning about IEDs? Yeah, I'm not so sure that those crimes are equal. Alright, who we dealing with? Rasputin. Damn, look a little different from your appearance in the Devil Summoner games. You get some work done? Maybe a new haircut? New tailor? You get a facelift? You're looking a little less robotic than usual. Hey, remember when Kandori died in Persona 1? That was a lie. The game lied to you. It's very funny to me that multiple villains in Innocent Sin show up as villains again in this game, but for completely different reasons. Like, Genji shows up again, but now he's a part of a super secret society, and not just a loser who did the Joker curse to be successful. Good hustle, man. It worked across multiple universes. Oh, no, not the monster blood. Haven't you seen Goosebumps? And now he's possessed. Does anyone have any airline food? It's also really nice that the cast of Persona 2 calls each other out when they're being assholes. Because, well, we'll talk more about that when we get to Persona 4. It really says something that the story of Innocent Sin is so absurd that when you get to Eternal Punishment and you're dealing with secret societies and worship mummies and using fortune telling to steal evil goo from people and underground dragons, it kind of seems quaint. So, Baofu just killed that dude by flicking a coin at him. I don't have a joke for that, I just think that it's the rawest shit and should be addressed. Persona 2 asks the question, how do you make a mech even cooler? And the answer is that you just give it a sword. Even if the mech isn't flexible enough to practically use it, it still looks cool. Man, it sure is a good thing that the New World Order is nice enough to hold off on their evil plans until I'm done gambling. I can't afford to kick their asses on a journalist's salary. I gotta hit that jackpot. Oh my god, he even put the big #1 on his boat. What a loser. I love him. Hey, did you like fighting that one boss? Well, then you're gonna love fighting 3 of them at the same time. Like an hour later. And yes, I know that Innocent Sin did the same thing with the Longinus units. But the last time I checked, the Longinus had different weaknesses and affinities. This is just 3 of the same guy. I'm just gonna run. Oh, nice, it worked. Oh, and there I go, I guess. If I open my map and I dropped to the beginning of the dungeon again, I'm gonna be mad. God damn it. Hey, did you like fighting that one boss, then fighting 3 of it at once again? Well, here's 5 of them. And also one of the final bosses from Persona 1. This is starting to feel like the locusts from King Abaddon all over again. I always thought it was kind of weird that, after all the shit that Kandori did, in this universe and the previous one, he gets to die with this weird moment of tenderness between himself and Chizuru. I mean, I like it, but it sticks out to me, and I'm not sure why. And just like that, Tatsuya's in the party. All is right with the world. Don't get me wrong, I like Nanjo, but last time I checked, we didn't dump all of our upgrades into Nanjo at the end of the last game. I mean, look at those stats. Did Nanjo have double the health and SP of everyone else on the team? Didn't think so. Hey, it's everyone's favorite part of Persona 2 again. Running around trying to find demons that you can actually get free cards out of so you can summon your evolved personas, and then you can run around until all their moves are available. There's so much running, I didn't know I was playing a goddamn Terry Fox simulator. I never really thought about it, but there is something depressing and mundanely terrifying about the fact that there's an alternate timeline where your life isn't any better than it is now. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe Baofu was wondering if Miki survived on the other side. Damn. Now I'm kinda sad. Fighting the protagonist or party from a previous game is always going to be cool, but bringing in a remix of that party's boss music, that's just the cherry on top. It's a shame that so many people will never touch Persona 2, because it really is firing on all cylinders. Please don't do any status effects. Okay, well that's just fine. And he healed himself. Great. The final dungeons are right there. But before we do that, we haven't touched any of the secondary campaigns that were exclusive to the PSP remake. So I'm gonna go run around in the air raid shelter until all my characters are maxed, and then we'll do that. Be back in a couple hours. Alright, my party's stats are looking a little different now. Let's see what Tatsuya was doing when he wasn't in our party. Are these just puddles of piss? Is R. Kelly part of the Taiwanese mafia now? You know, it's very easy to tell which demons are from H.P. Lovecraft mythology. If you don't know what I mean, go find out his cat's name, then come back to this screen. It will make sense. Okay, forget the story for a second. What's up with this Mega Man X-ass music? It's good, but I feel like I should be fighting Chill Penguin, not helping Aikichi round up a bunch of mental patients. See, you can tell I was supposed to do this section right after I went into the laboratory with my full party, because this is from back when fighting one of these guys was a challenge. Tatsuya, how the hell did you get her to the Velvet Room? She's double your size and 90% muscle. Was the Tatsuya of this universe secretly juicing? Did you bring a forklift? Are you forklift certified on this side? It's crazy that they drop this line and then it never went anywhere. You know Maki from Persona 1? Yeah, she's training to use her persona to go to levels of the collective unconsciousness that Philemon and Nyarlathotep don't go to. And what did we give it up for? The Persona 3 Hot Springs scene. Man, kinda thought that Azazel would be more threatening, and not the world's lamest looking Bionicle. You didn't even open it? You were just gonna give a god older than humanity a can of crab meat as is? What the hell, Maya? Remember in Innocent Sin, I said that you can tell who hasn't played Persona 2 if they think that Hitler's the weirdest part of the game? Yeah, I've never seen anyone talk about the fact that you meet Cthulhu in this one. I know that the thing on top of Nyarlathotep's head is probably a crown, but I like to think that it's late 90s, early 2000s, dyed, blonde, in sync, Aaron Carter style haircut. Feels like an appropriate style for the crawling chaos. Alright, now that we've defeated Nyarlathotep and Kadath, let's go defeat him in the real world. See, that's what happens when you put all your faith in a mummified head. You get turned into a creature that you get from randomizing too many times in Spore. It's a tale as old as time. So, there are a few very specific personas that you can get that will do a special fusion attack that kills this boss in one hit. But it takes a lot of time and planning to set up, so instead we're just gonna nuke him from orbit. If you played Eternal Punishment and didn't abuse Nuclear Crush, did you even play the game? I always thought this conversation was funny. Cause don't get me wrong, Maya's cool, but if I fumbled a girl like Ulala, I would dive headfirst into a reversing school bus. It's cool that they didn't differentiate the sprites of Shadow Katsuya or Ulala, so it just looks like you're nuking your own party members. Yeah, that seems like an incredibly fair and well-balanced move. Thank you, Persona 2. I love that Nyarlathotep gives this big speech about how he can never truly die because he's the god of chaos and chaos never goes away. And then the party just unloads on him anyway. Like, drop dead, Nyarly, you lost. If there's anything that this game taught, it's that it's worse to be forgotten than dead, and man, Atlas sure forgot about you. And there they go. The last time we will ever see a canon pairing between two Persona party members. I'm kind of glad that the first 3 Persona games are sectioned off in their own little bubble. Eternal Punishment really is the perfect bookend to the trilogy, and returning to it after already playing it, there's just so much love and thought put into it. And while it's never gonna be my favorite, and it's got some janky systems for demon contacts and acquiring skills that will turn people off, I do think that the Persona 2 duology are the best Persona games. And I'd love for Atlas to drop a Persona 6 that blows him out of the water. But I just don't think that's gonna happen.